What if I told you there's a tool that you could take with you everywhere you go? It's totally free. It could impact your physical, mental, and emotional health. Once you learn how to use this tool, you have it with you for life. Is that something you'd be interested in? Of course it is. Everybody would say yes to that. And the good news is that tool actually exists. It is your breath. Yes, the thing that you do every day, thousands of times without even thinking about it, breathing. It plays a massive role in your physical, mental, and emotional health. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. So welcome to Minimal Dose. This is where we take big ideas and we break them down into simple insights and actionable steps so that you can start making change in your life. My name is Blake, and I'm going to be your guide for these next few minutes as we talk about the power of breathing, how it impacts your physical, mental, and emotional health. This is a tool that often gets overlooked. We breathe every day unconsciously, automatically, and that's a really good thing, actually. I mean, think about if you had to remember every single time your body needed to breathe and doing that, you would be caught up totally being busy just by remembering to breathe. So it's a very good thing that our breath is automatic. However, the flip side of that is that because it's automatic, we can think, oh, this is something our body just does. We don't have to think about it. There's nothing more to it. And the reality is there's a lot more to your breathing than you may realize. And that's what I want to talk about in this episode. I want to talk about the 3 important principles that you need to know. And this is the stuff that everybody needs to know. Even if you don't want to deep dive into breath work, there is 3 simple principles that you can take with you. Once you learn them, you've got them with you for life. They guide your breathing in so many different situations. See, your breath is incredibly important because it affects so many parts of your body. Your breath affects your heart rate. It can affect muscle tension. It can affect blood pressure. It can affect the amount of oxygen that goes to your brain, which can affect your thinking and your clarity of thought. It can affect your autonomic nervous system, your fight or flight response, your ability to manage stress and anxiety, all of these things, your ability to recover, sleep at night, athletic performance is all influenced by the breath. And I get so excited about this because it is so ridiculously simple, and therefore we often overlook it. Sometimes we fall into this trap of thinking the things that are really going to make a big change for me are the complicated 17-step things. It can't be this simple, can it? And my answer to that is yes, it can be that simple. Now, it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it doesn't require some work and some intentionality, but the impact of changing your breathing is massive. So when we talk about making a shift and breathing differently, what are we talking about? Well, like I said, I'm going to make it simple and I'm going to give you the 3 big principles. The first principle I want to give you when it comes to using your breath is to remember to breathe slow. And that might sound really intuitive, but most of us are breathing faster on a daily basis than we think, especially if you start to experience stress or anxiety. If you check in with yourself in a moment of intense stress or when you're starting to get really nervous about something, see if you notice how you're breathing in that moment. You're probably going to realize pretty quickly, oh, I'm breathing quite fast right now because I'm feeling that stress. So when you remember to breathe slow, it helps you not only promote greater health in your body itself, but it also helps you to regulate your response to stress. So breathing slow is so important for a multitude of reasons, both mental and physical. Slow breaths could look like a breath that comes in through the nose, out through the nose, or maybe a breath that comes in through the nose and then a long extended exhale out through the mouth. Really, the important principle here is just slowing the breath. Don't get caught up on, is it nose, is it mouth? Just slow down the breath. That's principle number 1. Now, principle number 2 is to always breathe through your nose. Now, you just said it doesn't matter if I breathe through my nose or my mouth. Listen, I don't want you to get too caught up on the details, but if you can help it, breathing through your nose has so many more benefits to you than breathing through your mouth. Just a few of them is, 1, your nose actually has a filtration system built into it. That means when you take air in, it doesn't just go straight into your airways and your lungs, but it gets pulled through a filtration system. So the air that you bring in is actually optimized for your body to use it. It's your first line of defense for your immune system when you filter the incoming air. The second thing is when you breathe through your nose, it immediately starts to slow down your respiratory rate. Just like we talked about that first principle, breathing slow, when you breathe through your nose, that instantly helps you slow down your breath. Another great benefit of breathing through your nose is you bring in nitric oxide into your body. Because nitric oxide is produced in the nasal cavity, so when you breathe in, that nitric oxide is now going into your blood, which carries with it tons of benefits for your overall health as well. Now, it may not feel like that big of a shift, but just closing your mouth and breathing in and out through your nose can begin to make a massive difference. Of course, there's times in life where you may need to breathe in and out through your mouth. You're exercising super hard or there's an intense situation, but by and large, try as much as you can to breathe in and out through your nose. And that brings us to the third principle here. The third principle that I want you to take away for your breathing is to breathe low into the body. What does it mean to breathe low? Well, maybe you've heard this term in a yoga class or someone's told you take a belly breath or breathe into your belly. What does that actually mean, breathe into your belly? Really what we're saying by that is we want you to use your diaphragm, this big breathing muscle right in the center of your body. It's designed to help you bring in oxygen efficiently. And when you expand in the belly and the abdomen, you see your belly actually poke out a little bit, your rib cage pokes out a little bit. That's a good sign that you're using your diaphragm to breathe. If you're not seeing a lot of movement in your belly or in your ribs, you're probably seeing a lot of movement in your chest and your shoulders. And when you take a deep breath in, and if you're in a place right now, you can even test this. Take a deep breath, the biggest, fullest breath you can take right now. Go ahead and do it. Now you may have noticed when you took that breath, you pulled in a bunch of air into your chest and your shoulders and your neck and everything kind of went upwards. That's a sign that you're breathing high into your body rather than using the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles and breathing low into the body. The basic principle here is to start to shift your breathing to use the diaphragm more, to pull oxygen deeper into the lungs, to pull more air deeper into the lungs, to relax your body. Actually, diaphragmatic breathing has been shown to reduce stress by activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So not only is it more efficient, but it's actually more relaxing and helps you take down anxiety by breathing slow belly breaths. If you can remember those three things on a daily basis, breathing slow, breathing through your nose, and breathing low into the body, just those three things will transform the way you feel just by using your breath. Now, of course, there are tons of ways you can deep dive on the power of the breath. There's all kinds of breathwork practices out there that are very, very powerful, and I would encourage you to deep dive into all of those because they are amazing. However, if you're just taking away one thing from today, remember to breathe slow, remember to breathe through your nose, and remember to breathe low into the body. Those three things will begin to transform your health from the inside out. So if you take those with you, let me know how they go for you. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Blake with Minimal Dose. It's a great life.